Hey everyone, it's Missy, and today we are going to be doing United Dream Elite's signature smoky eye look, using your custom makeup palettes and a few extra of my favorites to complete the full face. We are going to start with a clean and moisturized face. We're going to do the eyes first. That way we can clean up any excessive fallout on the face without ruining our makeup. Here I'm just applying concealer as my eyeshadow primer, and then I'm going to set it with the nude color from the eyeshadow palette for a nice crease-proof, smooth base to start the eyeshadow on. You can use either your favorite concealer or favorite eyeshadow primer for this part. Just make sure you're using something because this is a very pigmented look, and we want to make sure that the pigment has something to stick to. Now we're going to take a small fluffy brush and create a little C or V in the outer corner of the eye. You want to make sure that the shadow is seen above the crease. We're using our blue and brown combined together today to create the perfect gray for anyone's complexion. Sometimes if we were to put just straight black or just straight gray on the eye, it can pull too much blue or the wrong color based off of people's complexion. It's also very difficult to work with and can cause a lot of fallout. So today we're just going to blend our blue and our brown together to get the perfect gray for everyone's skin tone. If you need to add a little more or a little less of the pigment to get the right color for your child's skin, that's perfect. After you get those outer corners and crease nice and dark, you just want to make sure you blend them together and that the color is even on the eyelid. Now I'm going to take a tight flat brush and apply the white on the inner corner of the eye. When using shimmery or high glitter eyeshadows, make sure you're always just dabbing the brush, not rubbing it into the eyeshadow. Same thing goes for when applying it to the eye. You want to dab it and just pull it a little, not really swirling around and blending. So we're going to do the white from the inner part of the eye and then slide it across there a little. And then we're going to take our silver and blend the white into the silver into the dark. So again, we're taking the white, putting it on that inner corner, the silver in the middle section, and blending it into the dark. You want those colors to come to right above the crease of the eye and from the front of the eyelid all the way across to about the middle section, a little past the middle section. Now, as a makeup artist, I would have blended a little more silver further, but my daughter was tired, and being the typical cheerleader on comp mornings, a little bit difficult. So now I am just taking a tight, small, fluffy brush and blending that charcoal color into the silver and on that outer corner of the eyelid below the crease, just to add a little more depth before putting all of our finishing touches. Now we're taking a fluffy brush with the nude eyeshadow and softening everything and just highlighting under the brow bone. Again, we're just going to soften all those edges and highlight under the brow bone. Now we're going back in with a little of that charcoal color just to make sure we've even darkness across both eyelids, define that crease a little bit. Now we're going to take the tight flat brush and add a little more silver, trying to blend it just a little past the center of the eyelid. I would have done a little more personally. You want to put on a couple layers. Now we are, again, just cleaning up any fallout mess we have, making sure those lines are nice and even on each side of the face, that it's not bringing the eyeshadow too far down on the face and dragging the eyelid appearance down. Now we're going to prime the face. We like to use a Lumi Glow lotion and a little bit of e.l.f. primer. So you're just going to make sure that's all over the face. Now we're going to apply foundation. I'm just using my hands for time purposes. This was a little late and she was tired and we were trying to get her to bed. Using your hands will warm the makeup up and sometimes make it easier to blend. So if you are in a rush, this might be a solution for you on comp mornings, Mom. Just use your hands and keep your makeup wipe handy to wipe your hands off after you're done. Make sure it's blended all over the face, forehead, and down into the neck. Now we're taking some concealer and just concealing under the eye. You want to make sure you get it as close to the bottom lashes as possible. Use your favorite concealer and application method. I always like to put a little concealer on the center of the nose and center of the chin since I'm using about one shade lighter, so it gives a little bit of a natural highlight. Now we're taking some setting powder and we're just going to set the makeup that we just applied. Apply it all over the face using a fluffy brush. Now we're going to take an angled flat brush and do some contour. We used the two colors mixed together for JoJo out of the palette, and we're just contouring her hairline. Especially once you get the girl's hair pulled real nice and tight, you'll kind of see where their hair might have a little bit of bald spots or breakage. So you want to contour in there so that it's not a harsh of a line. Now I'm going to do a little contour on the sides of her nose. Now we're going to do a little contour under her chin and across her jawline, down the sides of her neck. Again, just doing a little contour under her jawline and chin area, down her neck, blending everything together. Now we're going to do just a tiny bit of contour right under the cheekbones, kind of up to about where above the ears are. I'm going to do just a little bit because we're going to do a heavy blush look. Now go in with one or both of the blushes that match your skin tone the best. Deeper skin tones or more olive skin tones need more warmth, and you're going to want to put a lot of blush on. It's better to do multiple layers of blush versus just trying to pack on a lot of blush from the start. You want to start at the apples and blend upwards towards the temples. Again, it's better to do a few layers of the blush versus just putting a ton on. You're going to get a more blended and even look. You want to make sure that the judges are able to see it, so apply more than you would on a typical day. Again, we're going from the apples of the cheeks, small little circular motions up towards the temples. We really need to apply this heavier than you would on a typical day. You can put a little dab on the tip of their nose as well. Now we're going to take some setting powder on an angled brush and just clean up underneath the blush to make sure it's all nice and clean with sharp edges, a little on the sides of her nose, and then blend it together, setting everything. Now we're going to take some of the white highlight and just do down the center of her nose. I'm using almost like an eyeshadow brush, and I'm doing the same thing with the white under the eyes, just in the front. Now I'm taking some of the bronze golden highlight and putting it under the outer corner of the eye above the cheekbone and highlighting right there up around her temples. Now I'm going to take a flat angled brush and mix my blue and brown together again to make dark gray and apply that on the outer third under the bottom lashes and blend it into that dark color above. Make sure you're doing the same thing on both eyes. This is just our dark gray on the outer third under the bottom lash line, blending it into the darker color from above to create that smoky eye look. Now I'm just going to go in with a little bit of the silver on a small detail brush and put that under the middle third under the bottom lashes. You could do a fun color here, but we're doing silver. Now we're taking a little bit of the white and putting it on the inner corner of the eye, top and bottom, to make everything pop. Now we're just going to take a brow brush and clean the makeup out of her brows and shape them. If you have really light eyebrows, blonde ones, or any sparseness or holes, you should fill them in to better shape the face and help the facial expressions be seen by the judges. Now use your favorite mascara, starting with the bottom lashes, making sure everything is dry before moving on to the upper. Sometimes you can just let your child do it if they're good at it to make it easier. Now we're just going to lift the eyelid a little and do the upper lashes. Again, you can use your favorite mascara. I like to do a little before we put lashes because you want to clean up all that eyeshadow that falls onto the lashes. Now we're going to apply the lashes using lash glue. You're going to want to put it all over the band of the lashes. Make sure it sets for a second and gets nice and tacky. You're just going to use a pair of tweezers to apply the lashes just above the lash line. You can use the back side of the tweezers to help push them into place so they're sitting right above the lashes. Again, you're going to want to put glue all over the lashes and then use tweezers to just place them just above the lash line. Use the back of the tweezers to help push them into place so they sit right above the lashes. Let them set and dry for a second. We had to trim JoJo's lashes, and we used the longer and darker ones out of the makeup kit. Sometimes you need to trim them to fit your child's eye shape. Now we're going to line the lips while our lashes are drying. You want to take your liner and outline right on the edge or just past the lip line. You want to blend it in a little to make sure there's no spaces. We're using this lip liner more as a primer for the lip and to keep that deep red from bleeding. So you really want to make sure the whole lip is lined correctly. Just filling in a little bit as you go. Now we're going to apply lip gloss all over the lip, trying to get as close as possible to our lip liner edge that we created. You want to use thin layers and layer it to build the pigment up versus clumping too much product in one place. If you need to wipe off the lip wand before using it, if there's excess lip gloss, that's a good idea as well. And again, you just want to layer it. Now we're going to spray everything with setting spray to set the makeup. On comp days, I would have taken some eyeliner and just extended it down into the front, and I also would have added some mascara after I put her lashes on to blend her lashes to the false lashes. I also would have packed on a little more silver in the middle and added some fun side-eye glitter after we were all finished.